Developing story out of Iran, and there was outrage after the release of video showing a U.S. sailor crying.
U.S. Navy sailors taken into custody a day earlier when their boats mistakenly strayed into Iranian waters. But not before releasing humiliating video of one of the crewmen apologizing for their mistake.
Imagine being one of the most highly trained soldiers in the U.S. military. You are armed, you are sailing in one of the world's most powerful navies, and then, within minutes, you are surrounded by Iranian forces. Not in the middle of a war, not during a secret mission, but in broad daylight.
It was a mistake. That was our fault, and we apologize for our mistake.
On January 12, 2016, 10 American sailors accidentally entered Iranian waters near a tiny island called Farsi Island. What happened over the next 15 hours nearly triggered an international crisis, embarrassed the US Navy, and gave Iran one of its biggest propaganda victories in decades. But here's the part most people don't know. This incident could have started a war. The story began in the Persian Gulf. Two American riverine command boats were traveling from Kuwait to Bahrain. Their mission was routine: no combat, no classified operation. Just a scheduled transit across waters regularly patrolled by the US Fifth Fleet. But the Persian Gulf is one of the most dangerous waterways on Earth. Iran and United States had spent decades facing each other there. Just months earlier, tensions over Iran's nuclear program had dominated world headlines. Every moment was watched, every mistake mattered. Then, one of the American boats developed a mechanical problem. The formation slowed down, navigation became more difficult, and that's when everything went wrong. Whether because of mechanical failure, navigation error, or a combination of both, two boats drifted several miles into Iranian territorial waters near Farsi Island. For the Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, this wasn't just another foreign vessel, it was an opportunity. Within minutes, fast attack boats raced towards the Americans. The US sailors suddenly found themselves surrounded. Iranian machine guns pointed directly at them. The Americans faced a split-second decision: fight or surrender. The Americans never fired a shot. Their commander quickly realized they were heavily outnumbered. Opening fire would almost certainly mean death. So instead of fighting, the sailors complied with Iranian orders. Hands raised, weapons secured. Within moments, all 10 Americans, 9 men and 1 woman were taken into custody. The images that followed shocked the world. American sailors kneeling with their hands behind their heads. Videos broadcast across Iranian television. Iran celebrated the capture as proof that even the world's strongest military could be humbled. But behind the scenes, Washington was scrambling. The timing couldn't have been worse. The United States and Iran were only days away from implementing the historic nuclear agreement. Neither government wanted this incident to destroy months of diplomacy. Within hours, senior American officials contacted Iranians through diplomatic channels. Direct communication between the US Secretary of State John Kerry and Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif became critical. Meanwhile, military commanders feared something else. If the sailors weren't released quickly, American rescue operations could become necessary, and that could spiral into an open conflict. Every passing hour increased the risk. Fortunately, Iran made a different calculation. Roughly 15 hours after being detained, Iran released all 10 American sailors. The boats were returned, no shots had been fired, no lives had been lost.
Has released 10 U.S. sailors today after taking them into custody Tuesday when they crossed into Iranian territorial waters.
Iran stated that its investigation concluded the Americans had entered Iranian waters by mistake. The US Navy thanked Iran for resolving the incident quickly. On the surface, the crisis was over, but inside America, the controversy was just beginning. Many questioned how elite sailors could accidentally enter hostile waters. Others criticized the public images of American personnel kneeling before Iranian forces. The Navy later investigated the incident extensively. The inquiry found multiple failures, including navigation mistakes, leadership shortcomings, inadequate training, and poor decision making. Several officers eventually faced administrative consequences. Today, the Farsi Island incident remains one of the most remarkable peacetime confrontations between the United States and Iran. No missiles, no airstrikes, no naval battle, just 10 sailors, one navigation error. In 15 hours that reminded the world how quickly accidents can become international crises. In one of the world's most heavily armed waterways, sometimes a single wrong turn is all it takes. And perhaps the biggest lesson wasn't military at all, it was diplomatic. Because while warships, fighter jets and missiles often dominated headlines, in January 2016, it was communication, not firepower, that prevented a conflict. The next time tensions rise in the Persian Gulf, remember this story. Because history has already shown how close the world can come to a disaster without anyone firing a single shot. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to see more in-depth stories about military history, geopolitics, and the world's most important conflicts, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. I'm your host Z, and I'll see you in the next video.